This used to be the absolute worst part of my day. Walking inside, fumbling for a cold plastic switch, and getting completely blasted by a harsh hospital-grade ceiling light. It wasn't just bad lighting, it was an instant bad mood. 3 months ago, I decided to gut the entire system and replace it with IKEA Smart Home line. Honestly, I fully expected it to be a complete disaster. I prepared myself for lagging sensors, disconnecting bulbs, and a glitchy app that I'd eventually delete in a rage. But 3 months later, I'm actually obsessed. My home doesn't just look different, it feels more expensive, more intentional, and it's way more effortless. Today, I'm showing you my IKEA Smart Home setup that changed everything. How I'm using it in my home, the good, the bad, how much everything costs, and the technical truth behind mixing Zigbee with Matter over Thread. Smart home tech is a massive rabbit hole. You look one way and see Philips Hue, which is incredible and beautiful, but you go nearly broke just to light your whole house. You look the other way and you see Home Assist power users building what looks like NASA control centers in their basements. I wanted a realistic middle ground. I'm a tech enthusiast, but I live with people who just want the lights to work when they walk into a room. IKEA has hit the absolute sweet spot, and it's the first time that smart home tech has felt actually approachable, like it was designed for real homes and not just tech showrooms. I expected cheap, but what I got was refined stability and beautifully designed products that actually play nice with the Alexa ecosystem that I already use. So let's look at what I'm actually running. This is the core inventory that will serve as the anchor for the rest of my deep dive reviews. In the kitchen, I've got 6 TRÅDFRI smart bulbs on a pendant lights that Louise picked out. These are controlled by the Bilresa wheel remote. The remote is one of my absolute favorite parts of the setup. You turn the light on with a click and the scroll wheel lets you dial the exact brightness you want. I've actually mapped this single remote to control 2 other lights in the house as well. Each toggles with a click indicated by the orange LED. In the living room, I have another TRÅDFRI smart bulb inside this mushroom lamp. We also have a lamp we spent a lot of money on. The bulb in it gives a premium glow that IKEA's current range just doesn't match. So here's an amazing little hack. Instead of replacing a bulb you love, I used a tree-tacked smart plug. It forces a dumb device into the smart home ecosystem. Suddenly, this high-end lamp is part of my automation scenes and controlled by my IKEA remotes. Then we have the stairs, which is easily one of my favorite automations in the house. I'm using 2 Zigbee motion sensors, one upstairs and one downstairs. Whenever someone walks near the stairs at night, the motion sensors trigger and the light automatically fades on for a few minutes and then automatically switches itself off. This has been an absolute game changer. It saves power, eliminates the need for switches when your hands are full, and lets us move around at night seamlessly without worrying about visibility. In the kitchen, I'm using another smart plug as a safety switch so that when we leave the house forgetting to turn off the toaster, it doesn't burn down the house. In Louise's wardrobe area, I've installed the ominous LED strip lights and I've paired them with the Zigbee door sensor. When she opens the wardrobe door, the lights fade on automatically and they shut off the second the door closes. The secret to an incredible high-end home isn't the gadgets that you see, it's the lights that you can't find the source of. By hiding LED strips behind the shelves, you create an amazing floating effect that looks like a $2 million architectural design home, but it only costs $45 and some double-sided tape. It looks incredibly high-end. Honestly, just lock me in here and throw away the keys. Now going outside of the house, I'm running 6 TRÅDFRI GU10 pillar lights. I have these on a strict schedule. They automatically turn on after 7 PM and switch off just before midnight. It provides an amazing aesthetic, but it's also highly functional. Anyone coming near our door at night is recorded clear as day because of that lighting footprint. I'm also currently testing the Clipbox water sensor and the Alpstuga air quality monitor to see how they fit into the daily routine. When you add up all of the hardware for this setup, it comes in at just under $400. To put that into perspective, with other popular ecosystems, you probably just get a hub and a couple of extra bulbs. When comparing to other competitors like Eve or Philips Hue, you'll be paying 3 to 5 times more for the exact same functionality, which is crazy. The brain connecting every single one of these devices is the DIRIGERA hub. This is what connects to my Alexa setup for voice commands. Alexa, turn on dining light.
Okay.
One interesting thing about my setup is that it actually runs on a mix of IKEA's older Zigbee products and the newer Matter over Thread devices. Unlike Wi-Fi smart devices, these products create their own low-power mesh networks using Zigbee and Thread. That means they barely add any load to my Eero network. After 3 months, the stability has been quite amazing. I haven't had any random disconnects on my network, but what shocked me the most was that despite running a mix of Zigbee, Matter over Thread, and my Alexa all on the Eero network, I haven't had any interruptions with my existing Wi-Fi devices. But you'll see in a minute that running both Zigbee and the Thread network does come with some trade-offs. One thing I didn't expect was how much more expensive and incredible the house started to feel. We've basically stopped using harsh ceiling lights entirely. Instead, everything has been completely transformed by layered, warm lighting. This is a deliberate trick luxury hotels and high-end designers use. Instead of flooding a room with one bright light, they use smaller pools of warm light through lamps and accent lighting. It creates an incredible subconscious effect. The luxury doesn't come from the price of the furniture. It comes entirely from the lighting strategy. By automating my IKEA bulbs to shift from a crisp white to warm white as the sun sets, I'm basically hacking our sleep cycles. The house doesn't just look cozier and warmer, it actually helps me fall asleep faster. I control the mood using scenes in the IKEA app or my Bilresa switch. For example, at night, I trigger my dinner scene using the bottom button on the switch. This turns on all ground floor lights at 100% brightness for function, but also keeps them warm and welcoming. Then when we want to relax, I hit the movie scene on the top switch. This dims the living room to 50%, turns off the kitchen, and activates the lamp through the smart plug. The cozy factor kicks in immediately. I tell Louise that every night I spend with her sitting under this configuration is my dream come true. When it's time for bed, I use a long hold on the remote to trigger the bedtime scene. All the lights go off, and the stair light stays on just long enough for us to get upstairs safely before a timer switches it off. I also learned that having multiple ways to control the house is essential. Voice control through Alexa is incredibly convenient when my hands are greasy making dinner, but honestly, voice fatigue can be real.
Alexa,
talking to a smart assistant all day can be mentally exhausting. That's why having a physical remote just to silently dim the lights feels so much more natural. Combining
Alexa, turn on
voice,
kitchen light
remotes,
to
and the app
50%.
enhances the entire experience whilst making the system practical for everyone living here. Let me know in the comments if you've got any cool hacks or creative ways that you're using these products. In terms of downsides, the first thing I notice is that the motion sensors aren't instant. There's usually a 1 to 3 second delay before the stair lights turn on. After researching online, this seems pretty common with IKEA sensors and isn't unique to my setup. It's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely noticeable compared to a physical light switch. The other limitation is simplicity. The app is clean and easy to use, but if you want ultra advanced automations, it can feel a bit basic. I got around that by linking everything to Alexa, where I combined even more complex routines. If I was starting from scratch today, to keep things simple and future-proof, I just build the whole system using Matter over Thread instead of keeping a mix of the two. Zigbee and Thread operate on completely separate networks, and each powered device in each network strengthens that specific overall network. This means that both Zigbee and Thread can't help each other, so a Zigbee device can't strengthen the Thread network, and a Thread device can't strengthen the Zigbee network. IKEA is currently transitioning heavily to Matter over Thread because it's much more compatible with existing smart home ecosystems. I just happen to buy everything in the middle of this transition. The good news is that the DIRIGERA hub hides almost all of this complexity, so day to day I barely notice it. But if you're building a brand new IKEA smart home today, I'd probably lean towards the newer products with a matte logo where possible. I like value and I like simplicity, and IKEA delivers both. So is the IKEA Smart Home worth it after 3 months? For me, absolutely. It's exceeded our expectations and now I genuinely wouldn't want to live without it. This is also the first video in a much larger IKEA Smart Home video series because there's no way I can cover everything in just one video. So if you're interested in seeing deeper dive reviews into some of these individual devices, then hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video.